I'm actually so happy that we've played through most of this TRM free music I purchased for use during the breaks in this marathon. It makes me feel like it was money well spent because it seems like it's going over pretty well. We are ready now for our next run. It is a Japan exclusive game in the Ape Escape series, I believe, but I'll certainly let our runner, Sergeant Silent, explain more about that. And I will now toss it over to Sergeant Silent. Take it away, please.
Hello. I'm Sergeant Silent, and this is indeed a Japanese exclusive Ape Escape. Canonically, this is Ape 4, SRGTsilent, which roughly translates to Ape Escape, Ape Big Mission. It was a PSP exclusive game, which is pretty much why it's relegated to a spin-off status, because PlayStation Portable means not mainline. Though it is, as I said again, Ape 4 canonically. But, oh no. But, if we're, oh no, I did not. Time has not started yet. So I'm just gonna input my name, and whenever we are ready on time, I'll give a countdown and we'll be off. Alright, so we're gonna begin in 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, so welcome everybody to Ape Escape Big Mission. The first thing you'll notice is we're not playing as a child, as you might know from other Ape Escape games. We're actually playing as this little droid-like thing. The TLDR on the story in this game is Spectre is once again broken free, and this time he has decided that in order to deal with his nemesis, Kekeru and Hikaru and all of those characters that you know and love, he will shrink them down to the minuscule size of very small. So it turns out that if you guys know anything about Ape Escape, there is these things called Peepo helmets. That's basically why we call the monkeys in this game Peepo monkeys, because they're normal monkeys from the zoo that have put these helmets on, and that allows them to gain some form of sentience. The professor's lab, coincidentally, when shrunk down super small, looks exactly like a Peepo helmet. And because of that, we're actually able to go up to monkeys in this lab form and capture them. So you'll notice my commands are in the top right. When I'm in the ball form, the command is triangle to grab a monkey. So that right there was a skip. You're supposed to grab that lamb monkey, but instead I just went straight for the blue monkey because the lamb monkeys are slow. Here we're going to try to do another skip and get a mermaid monkey faster than intended. Unfortunately, this game has a lot of RNG. This red guy can decide to punch me, which he didn't. This mermaid can go whatever direction they want. You're gonna see a lot of, well, that was unfortunate, happening in this run. Like that monkey right there, he's fine. You didn't see anything happen. So mermaids are, oh, that sucked. Pretty universally disliked in this game. So you're not gonna see many of them unless I have to use them. Right there, you may have noticed I jumped into that cutscene. When cutscenes start, two things happen. The camera locks into place, but your monkey doesn't. So you keep not control, but like if you were moving, you will move during that cutscene. In addition, the camera, when it regains control, will auto snap to whatever way your monkey is facing. So I'm gonna try to I'm going to try, whenever possible, to make the camera be facing the way I want it to be facing. Here's a small sequence break. You're not supposed to jump on those. You're supposed to use that hook monkey that I had earlier. but I really, really need this gun monkey. And you might be saying, well, you could have just reached the goal without him. There's actually a really important reason we grabbed that monkey. The general goal of any percent in this game is to get through all 21 stages in the run with as few monkeys as necessary. But with 2 exceptions, there are 2 extra monkeys that we'll be wanting to catch. Oh no, that's unfortunate. The ball has really weird lock-on properties. So even though I was right next to that monkey, because I wasn't angled at him, it just decided nah and didn't give it to me. This monkey is a parachute monkey. A lot of monkeys have different abilities, as you can see on the top right with my abilities. Once I have control of a monkey, new ones unlock. Triangle is always going to be a helmet dunk. X is always going to be a jump. Square and circle are what change. So this monkey, the parachute monkey, he's going to come back later, and he's going to let us do a very, very big piece of tech. I apologize. So right here, we're being chased by a couple monkeys. This is unfortunately the life of the game. Sometimes, like I said before, monkeys and AI in this game are extremely random if they want to be. So if I get chased a lot, I'm just gonna have to deal with that. This is everyone's least favorite monkey. A lot of the time, you'll see me essentially get stun locked like this. If that happens, there's really nothing I can do except try to get out and get back in. Certain monkeys can only be caught at certain points of their animation. So, like, this monkey here, SRGTsilent, is only able to be caught near the end of the first 75% of the spin. Otherwise, you'll get hit or she will dodge. And that's a lot of the nature of this game, is knowing when you can catch a monkey, how you could catch a monkey, what are the specifics behind that, will I get attacked by an enemy, yada yada. Another thing you'll notice is I'm actually jumping a lot. The reason that I am jumping so much in this game is actually because a lot of your momentum is is in the second jump. So if I do a jump and then double jump, you'll see I just shoot forward. And that shooting forward lets me go really far, really fast. And in the end, it comes out significantly faster than if I was simply running along the ground. Alright, so we're getting introduced to our first boss fight here. There are cutscenes that I'm skipping. So remember I captured that gun monkey? Well, here he is. And the reason we got him is so we can do this. Aw, that Hammerborg was mean. If I did not capture the gun monkey, I would not have him for this fight. And getting the gun monkey lets me take him out just boom, 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 10 shots to the gear. Otherwise, you have to do that fight with a melee monkey, and there is a slightly slower backup to that, but you really don't want to have to do that. Alright, so we're moving on to the museum. If anyone here can read Japanese, if you get any chance to read these level names, they're actually pretty funny. A lot of them are the traditional style of making a pun in Japanese. Most of these levels in some way reference the fact that you tiny level big. So you'll be seeing quite a bit of that if you know how to read at all. And I'll point that out on the final level for anyone who wants to have some fun with that. So this is the museum. This is one of the first really hard levels in the run when you're newer to the game. The cycles for pushing this block is actually really specific, and then we get introduced to ice. And it turns out the fastest way to move up ice is to actually use this monkey's punch attack. Now we need this blue monkey. Blue monkeys, if you don't know in ape lore, always run really, 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 really fast. So if we tried to do this section without this blue monkey, we would be losing, relatively speaking, a very big amount of time. So when you're newer to this game, that monkey can get away from you and he can go do whatever he wants, and all in all, it's big sad if you miss him. But we got him quick, we got him nice. That's really good. So at this point, we're just gonna run through the levels. As I said, a lot of this is going to be getting as few monkeys as possible, and a lot of the more advanced tech comes up later in the run. So at this point, it's pretty much just running through levels as we get to them. And the floor is open to questions and anything. I am reading chat, and I'm more than willing to answer any and everything, since I do know this game is in Japanese, and you might not be able to understand what's going on. So this level, we're getting introduced to archer monkeys. Like, in general, we're getting introduced to monkeys that can aim, and we're also getting introduced to a mechanic of the way the devs designed this game. I'm pretty certain they placed the monkeys first, then decided where to put your spawn location, but they didn't account for you can't move when you're spawning into the level. However, the monkeys are not locked in like you are. So you'll notice when we spawned in, this archer monkey I grabbed, he was already running about. He went to the right. He can go right. He can go left. He can go forward. He can go backwards. He can do whatever he wants. And depending on what he does, it's completely out of our control. Oh my god. Completely, like, we just hope. So going right was unfortunate, but we take what we get, and we caught him nonetheless. This is also our first instance of the gecko monkey, or as he's well known, the frog monkey, even though, I mean, you tell me if it's a gecko or a frog. And we're going to be seeing him later as well. So I'm going to specifically hit this monkey and grab him. In general, you'll see if I can, I'm going to try to get behind a monkey, because taking the time to hit a monkey is a slower animation, and you have to wait for the monkey to be stunned. But if I could just dunk a monkey, as it's called in the community now, dunking, you're going to see me take that chance and dunk the monkey. These walls are super scary. The enemies can be in a lot of different patterns, and you have to be reactive. Because if you get punched off a wall, you go all the way back down to the bottom, and you take damage. The bananas in the top left corner of the screen, those are how many hits I can take with a monkey before I essentially get knocked off of the monkey's head. So you don't actually lose a life in this game unless you die as the Borg or fall into a pit with a monkey that has no HP left. So you start with 3 lives. Typically speaking, this is a game designed for children, but it's actually really hard when you first play through it. There'll be some rooms that you'll see me do, and it's just like, wow, you're supposed to do that on your first playthrough? But all in all, I love this game. I absolutely love this game. And a lot of the stages, like that one, I caught 7 monkeys. There's 9 monkeys in that stage. Or no, there's like 11 monkeys in that stage. A lot of the stages, you actually have to catch a ton of monkeys in. Just because this is like a puzzle platformer, if you will. Yo, nice. We got good RNG on him. I use the term puzzle loosely. That door you saw that had a 3 buttons on it, and I had to hit 3 buttons on the floor, that's this game's quote-unquote definition of a puzzle. It always tells you the solution, but you have to realize where the solution is and solve it. So, get ready for some serious brain teasers. Yo, we got the hardest monkey in the run. Let's go. This monkey is absolute travesty. He, like that door. Come on. Hard puzzles, bro. Look at this puzzle. We have to solve this one, too. Remember, PSP game for kids. These puzzles, man, super challenging. Thank you for the good luck, Curie. But yeah, this monkey, that monkey I caught here, the monkey you have to catch him with does not have any good weapons or attacks. And on top of that, these Borgs you see everywhere, these Desperado Borgs with the guns, if they want to give you a bad time, they will give you a bad time. They will just snipe you. And if you are dunking on a monkey and you get hit during that dunk animation, it doesn't matter at what part of the animation you are. If you have not caught the monkey, you will instantly be knocked out of said animation. So there'll probably be a few times where I get punched out of one. This is everyone's favorite game, Monkey Says. So the way Monkey Says work is you get given a semi-random pattern of 4. It's drawn from a pool of random sets, but you can never get more than 2 of the same character in a row. So it's typically pretty obvious to know, like, once you get the first or the second one, what exactly you're going to be getting. Yo, that was a 1 second gold. Let's go. Was not expecting that. So this is boss 2. This is I never introduced the bosses. So introduced in Ape Escape 2 where this group of 5 monkeys called the Uki 5, Uki Red, Uki Blue, Uki White, Uki Pink, and Uki Yellow. They've pretty much become a staple at this point in the series. And once again, you have to fight the Uki 5 in this game. Our first one was Uki Red in a giant elephant. Our second one is Uki Blue, riding on a mechanical horse. You might recognize him from hit movies such as Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark, and Indiana Jones and that other subtitle, because I don't watch movies, and Indiana Jones and Lara Croft. I think that's a movie. I don't know. Someone tell me. But, basically what I'm saying is he looks familiar. Oh, well, F that monkey, he went off the cliff. So the basic way to fight that monkey, or fight Uki Blue, is to, shoot him 3 times, reel him in so he gets knocked off, and then just spin in and hit him with the hammer. The hammer is going to, in general, be our best friend. You're going to see the hammer monkey constantly. Every time we have a hammer monkey, we're pretty much need it. It's going to be our best friend throughout a majority of the run. So this is Iwajirumi Lab. I love this level. 90% of the community hates this level. Casually playing, this is where most people will game over. This level is considered one of the hardest levels in the game for a dunk that is coming up that you guys will love if I get it first try. Blue monkeys can also run across lily pads like this. Oh, we didn't get it. So this mermaid monkey is subject to being an absolute unit on us. If you get the miracle dunk, you just run up and grab him and move on with your day. But if he decides that's not happening, then, well, that's not happening. And you take a dip. You can sometimes get back onto the land, but unfortunately I was not able to. It's really questionable. It depends on whether or not, like, what part of the water swimming animation you're in and a couple other things. But second try dunk's pretty good. Pretty good. If I were to die at any point for some reason, what happens is you get reset at a point where you essentially last stood on safe ground, which safe ground is registered as not being hit, not moving, not being hit, not jumping. Basically, that dust cloud you see, if that dust cloud is able to fully dissipate and I've not jumped or anything, that was a small skip, by the way. Poor level design, let me just jump over that end gate. Then I'll store a safe point. But if I keep moving and jumping and I fall into a pit or I get knocked off or something, especially if I game over, you can see me get sent really far back in a level. So we're hoping that doesn't happen. But knowing this game, it shouldn't, but it might. So we're at a conveyor zone. Conveyor zone is a fun level, and it has a good soundtrack. If you guys know Soichi Terada, he composed most of the music for Ape Escape. Highly inspired musician who focuses on jungle and drum and bass, mostly jungle music. I recommend checking him out. He composed the music for almost every Ape Escape game and is extremely good at what he does. So if any of these tracks are bangers to you, that's who you look up. Soichi Terada. Oh no! That is Soichi, and then Terada is spelled as it sounds. So we're gonna hit this blue monkey here. This is the first time in the run we're using a he's fine. Using a motorcycle monkey. Motorcycle monkeys are blue monkeys that store their attack. Thank you, Katsu. That store both their attack and their movement speed on the same button. So with the blue monkey on the motorcycle, I can pretty much just drive through any and every obstacle. Now I want to avoid hitting things. You'll notice I stagger every time I hit something. That's slow. So the goal is to not hit as many things as possible. Nice. So that was an example, 4 monkeys in that stage. Once you got the blue motorcycle monkey, you just zoom through that whole level. You don't need a single other monkey. So about, I think it was a week and a half ago, new strats got discovered for this level. First thing I'm going to try to do is get this blue monkey right off the bat. You're not meant to just be able to grab this guy, but I just skipped 2 quote-unquote required monkeys and grabbed this guy immediately. Now I'm going to skip pretty much every monkey in this stage, and I'm going to try to show off the new strat. Unfortunately, I only have one. That's unfortunate. Alright, now I have more than one attempt at it, because I want to show this strat off and see if we can get it. Remember I said if you fall in a pit with no bananas, you game over. Right there was a little bit of abuse. We basically fell beyond a checkpoint chunk, and that caused a platform from before to reload ahead of time. Alright, so this is the new strat. We're gonna actually jump. I missed it. I'm gonna try 2 more times since I messed up, and see if we can get this. So this rope is actually solid. Hey, we got it. If you do that first try optimally, you save like 6 seconds over the other route of grabbing the bunny and casually hopping across that. So yeah, that strat was discovered super recently. I'm super glad we found it. It's really nice. I needed to dodge the chocolate, because chocolate is very deadly in this game. Chocolate will knock you into a pit. If you're flying over a pit or anything and you hit something, you cannot regain flight. You take damage from being hit by the moving object, and then you lose an entire banana from falling into a pit. So essentially, if you're flying and you take damage, you lose 2 bananas. Yeah, you're definitely not meant to be on that. And the funny thing is, the first room has a rope like that as well. Oh, also say hello to Santa Claus. Or Saint Nook. Please refer to him as Saint Nook, as he is known in the community. All these monkeys are basically similar monkeys to Ape Escape 3. So if you guys have played Ape Escape 3, then you'll really see just how canonical this game is. But yeah, there's a rope like that in the first room, which the developers intentionally made uninteractable. If you try to walk on it, you'll just fall through it. But for some reason in the second room, that's not what happens. The second room, you can get on it. So this is Uki Yellow. He loves cake. We're gonna do a very specific setup here to get Yellow stuck on a strawberry. And then with him stuck on this strawberry, we can now loop him with this flame-breathing monkey. Your movement actually has to be pretty precise in this section. If you're too slow or too off position, he will actually break free from that first strawberry, and then the fight loses about 6 seconds and you have to go into a backup mode. So essentially, Yellow Monkey is just gonna be this. Have him hit him with fire, have him jump, hit him with fire. I do want to point out, Yellow Monkey is flashing rapidly here. There is a much worse instance of that kind of flashing coming up. So if you guys are photosensitive, if you are subject to seizures, I'm warning you now, and I will warn you again. There is a real chance of that in this game because of the speed strats. So take care of yourself, manage your own health. There's going to be a much worse instance of that specific incident happening. Just everyone look out. So we're going to do a new strat and hop right over this monkey instead to bait him to shoot. Then the camera is going to get all sorts of wacko. In general, if we only have to take one shot, we want to blind fire the shot because it takes a lot of time to ADS or aim down the sights. There are a few exceptions to that. And whenever you want to fire a lot of shots, you're actually going to want to ADS. And I'll explain why later when it becomes relevant. Look at that. I just got sniped. That's what I was talking about. You could just get sniped for absolutely no reason. Oh. Puzzle. Hard puzzle. Some more hedge mazes. This level is a very interesting level because if you guys know Ape Escape, typically what happens is you get kicked out of a level after you've acquired X amount of monkeys. In this game, because the goal is reaching the end of the level and not so much getting all of the monkeys, on revisits, what the devs ended up doing was after you beat the first or the final boss, in order to make it so that the all monkeys category is a thing, what they ended up doing was every stage gets 1, 2, or 3 new monkeys added to it. So on this stage, one of the monkeys that's added is a jetpack monkey. And if you guys know Ape Escape, let's just say there's a thing called infinite height. And I'll leave it at that for now. But this like 2-minute game we just did, nah. Nah. It's slow. For now, that's what we'll tease. So here we're gonna do a Ferris wheel skip. You're intended to sit on this Ferris wheel and do a whole bunch of cycles, but there's some cool lineups you can do where you just jump a couple times across these, just like I did, and suddenly I'm at the end of the entire Ferris wheel. That saves over 12 seconds just sitting through bypassing sitting through all of those cycles. And now we're just gonna take this one monkey all the way to the end of this room. Instead of capturing any of these other monkeys that you're intended to capture. Like the UFO, what you're supposed to do is take that UFO monkey all the way over here, but that wall is just straight up destructible. So you just walk over to it and wall done. Wall done. Just yo, let's get that Pepsi Man incentive. Pepsi Man is a great game. Y'all want to see that. I know you do. Okay. So, now we're at, Doki Domo, not Doki Domo. We're at a Kura airship, or air show. This stage, remember how earlier I teased our little hit the switch game? I teased our little monkey friend with the parachute. Well, he's back. This stage has the biggest sequence break in the entire game. Oh, okay. He doesn't want to listen to me. And you are about to see the best trick and the best unintended use of geometry. But before that, we have a little mini skip that we're going to go for. It's called Frog Jump. Even though this is, as I said, might be Gecko. It's colloquially a frog. So what we're going to do is we're just going to land on that little prong instead of grabbing the hook monkey. And then we're just going to jump across. And that saves 6-7 seconds. You don't have to catch a monkey. You don't have to swing across. You just boom, boom, done. That is a lot harder than it looks. This game, a lot of people would call this game slippery. The momentum in this game is very weird. It's all based on your analog, when you pull forward, when you pull back. And this trick right here, again, we're going to skip a hook monkey. We're going to parachute across. We're going to land on that hook monkey, the edge of that hook monkey. And now we have a parachute monkey on the other half of the level. You're not supposed to have a parachute monkey. You might be able to tell that by the fact that I am flying over every single one of these puzzles. Such as this final puzzle, which you're supposed to punch 4 blocks in, but we have a parachute monkey, and level's done. Just like that, we skipped the entire second room. So now, who needs puzzles? So now we're moving on to the Donyori Spook House. This level is pretty interesting. You guys are gonna see a lot of horror tropes here. You might recognize some of these. If you do, feel free to shout them out. We're gonna grab this Sagittarius monkey, get a dunk on this swamp monster monkey. Normally you're not intended to do that, but if you're fast enough, you could just straight up grab him. Move past this second zombie monkey, grab this mad scientist. And we're gonna get our first jump scare. I'll let you guys guess what this is a reference to. Obviously, he has a sweater vest, so it should be known what he is a reference to. Oh, I hit it. Yo, what up, Colt? Nice to have you. So now that we have this guy, we're gonna run through all of these. Don't worry about that monkey over there. The monkey's fine. And we're gonna get introduced to our second jump scare here. I'll let you guys take a guess at who this is. But we don't need him. So we're just gonna run straight through him. And we're gonna get to the best hallway in the game. These axes love to ask you questions. And they are very, very persuasive when they ask you questions. They have the worst hitboxes in the entire game. And getting through them without being hit is pretty ridiculous. So I'm going to take my time here and make sure I don't touch them, because it's very slow if you do. And now I'm going to set up a manipulation here. This night monkey, if you do not manipulate him correctly, he will follow you over to this area. We're going to catch the vampire, and as long as we did the manipulation right, the night monkey will be stuck back at the beginning of the room. If he comes to the end of the room, he can very easily knock you off of those stairs. He can knock you off of the platform. He can prevent you from getting this vampire monkey. All in all, bad time. Bad time. So finding a manipulation to skip the vampire was actually, or skip the night was actually super good. And here's our last reference. Stay hydrated. I'm using this chance to drink. But we don't need that monkey. So we're just gonna bypass the fact that she tripped down the stairs and go on with her way. If you do catch her, her main attack is a spin. But we don't need her. So you may have noticed throughout the entire game that we were rescuing our friends, because Spectre not only shrunk all of us down, he kidnapped all of them. And it turns out that one of the friends we rescued was actually a fake friend. And this Ookie Pink here, everyone's favorite boss. No! Oh my god. Okay. Everyone's favorite boss is now putting on a concert for us in the haunted house. And it turns out that she actually had two of our friends kidnapped. So now we're gonna fight her. Ookie Pink is everyone's favorite, least favorite boss, because she has random teleports. Okay, I'm getting hit. She has random teleports, just like that. And where she goes, I have no say. And because of that, if she chooses not to go on the main stage, my only way to attack her is to hit her with the hammer like this. Very slowly, and wait for her to teleport. You saw I dropped the stage on her. The reason I did that is because that took her from what we call happy mode. It took her to mad mode, where she gets a machine gun umbrella. I have exactly 1 minute to kill her after I drop that stage on her. After that point, she goes back to happy mode. If she goes back to happy mode, I lose a ton of time. So the fact that I got her, and she was probably less than 10 seconds from changing back, that was really nice. Pink does not have to behave well, so that was one of the better Pinks you can have. So you might have noticed that prior to the Boo House, every level had 2 rooms. The Boo House was the first level to introduce 3 rooms, and now the levels get significantly longer. This guy is gonna punch us into the pit. Okay. If he chooses to punch you into the pit, you're ending up in the pit. It's a sad day for all. But we got through him because I waited just a little bit to make sure that didn't happen. But yeah, from this point on, we get introduced to 3 level rooms, or 3 room levels, which are not relatively that fun. But we also, to make up for that, get introduced to a pretty cool mechanic. I alluded to it earlier. And if you could guess what that is, that'd be awesome. But if not, I'll show you. We'll see. No! This is one of the worst monkeys in the game. If you miss him, there's a lot of advanced Desperado Borgs here. And they will show you what's what. So we're just gonna skip all of these monkeys because we don't need any of them. At this point in the game, you'll notice we've been skipping a ton of monkeys. This is where all monkeys and any percent really diverge. Because all monkeys, you literally have to capture every monkey in the main game and just beat the final boss. But in any percent, the only monkeys that are required are pretty much the runs right before the quote-unquote puzzles. So this is a new kind of monkey that was introduced in this game. It's a variation of the white monkeys, the tech monkeys. And what he does is he shoots 10,000 gigawatts into the wall to power it up. And now we have a jetpack monkey. So jetpack monkeys have this cool ability where instead of a jump, they have a jetpack. Okay, that was unfortunate. Instead of a jump, they have a jetpack. And that's like the mechanic. If you choose to get this guy, you're supposed to swap off to this monkey here. But instead, it turns out you could actually just make these jumps. It is faster to run on the ground with them than it is to take the jetpack in general. But we like this guy for this section because, well, landing is a suggestion. And it turns out that if you know how to press the X button twice, well, you never have to land. So we're just gonna... Oh, no! Ah! No! We're just gonna fly across the room without ever landing. Unfortunately, I misjudged my landing a little bit, and I fell. Enemies in this game are scary. I really want to emphasize that. It is very, very easy to get stun locked in this game. Very easy. So now we're coming on to the Buddy Buddy Electric Bass. Or Electronic Bass is its actual name. And what's gonna happen is another one of those sequence breaks. We're going to hopefully get this guy first try. He's not gonna play nice. He's gonna be very mean. Hopefully I could get him quickly. Nope, he's gone. He's doing what he wants. This is what happens when you don't catch a monkey immediately. They're just gone. They're just gone. And because of that, all of our cycles are going to be off. These two walls are known as the walls of death. Because if you're not on the right cycle, or if enemies are choosing to be random, what's going to happen is we're going to get bonked off this wall and then take fire. We didn't, though. So now we're coming on to the worst hook room that we do actually have to do in the run. We don't have a skip for this one. Your inputs have to be pretty precise or that happens. And when that happens, this room turns into a reaction because you're no longer on the opening cycle. And once you're past the opening cycle, things get really weird in that room. You saw I threw the hook out right next to the hook. The game doesn't want to lock on if it doesn't have to. And it doesn't have to. So what we're going to try to go for here is we're going to take this speedy blue monkey further than the devs intended you to be able to take this speedy blue monkey. We're going to get this fire monkey. We're going to actually flame this blue monkey over to the edge of this platform. We're going to activate the flame platform, grab the blue monkey quickly, and then jump across the gap. We now have a speedy blue monkey much further into the level than we should, and this saves a good amount of time because this monkey moves really fast. And it also makes catching this hammer monkey significantly easier because when you hit a monkey with the flamethrower, they go sky high and you don't know where they're gonna land. Also, this is Simon Says. The devs wanted to throw another puzzle in there, so, you know, we went with classic Simon Says. We actually got a really good pattern there, and it's very important I not turn the camera to face those enemies. The enemies won't actually activate unless the camera is looking at them. So if the camera's not at them, then they won't shoot me. And those are, I think they're called copborgs or cyborgs or something like that. Basically, they have dual laser pistols, and they're not fun. They will juggle you. So we're gonna do another elevator puzzle. I don't even know if you could call them puzzles at this point. But, I mean, what would you call them if not puzzles? We're gonna skip. Oh, he hit me. What a meanie. And we're gonna grab another jetpack monkey. Now, as your jetpack ends, if you push the X as you're falling, it's possible to get a huge burst of speed. Unfortunately, we didn't get that, so I couldn't show it off. It's much easier to do with that type of jetpack monkey. But it's fine. It doesn't save that much time if you get it. Alright, so this is the last platforming level. That's right, the game is already almost over. No, never. It's impossible. Exactly. I don't know what the devs were thinking with that infinite flight move. So I'm going to take this monkey pretty much all the way to the end of the first room. Sniped from behind. See, they won't start shooting if the camera's not looking at them, but if you've already aggroed them, they don't deload or anything, so they're still there, and they will still fire those shots, and if the shots are coming from behind, you don't know they're coming from behind, and you'll just get hit. So I could snipe this button, but I'm going to show you, remember earlier when I said infinite flight was a thing? Well, the cool thing about infinite flight is, at this point, walls are a suggestion. So, I'll just fly over the wall and leave the level. Or leave the section instead of hitting the switch. Now, you're not supposed to have this monkey beyond this point. You're meant to grab the magnetic boots monkey and climb this wall. I'm gonna be honest, I've never climbed this wall casually. I have no idea how hard it is to play this level as intended. I do know this is a very slow puzzle, and we're not going to do it because of that. So this one, again, you're not supposed to have this flying monkey here. And now, this hammer monkey here, you might be saying, why are you grabbing him when you have an infinite flight monkey? Very important. He is, he's gonna make an upcoming boss trivial. So, now we're grabbing the best monkey in the game. He has the highest damage output. He has the highest HP in the game, with 5, tied with some other monkeys. But it's his DPS that really matters, because for this upcoming room, we actually can't leave until we have just successfully destroyed 3 of these, I guess, battery powers? Also, I forgot to point this out. Remember how I said these names are all puns? Well, this level is called SRGTsilent, which is nonsense in Japanese. But essentially what it translates to is way too freaking big satellite. Paraphrasing there. Paraphrasing. That is the essential literal translation of this level name. Very fun fact. It is the idea of something being huge in compared to you. That was actually a really good room. If you are at 1 banana, you can be looped there. And if you get looped on that floor, you could be punched off of your monkey. And the Borgs are still active during that cutscene, even though you're not. Which means they could shoot you instantly after that cutscene ends and send you back to the beginning of the room. So we're at the penultimate boss. This is Uki White. Uki White is RNG in what he brings out. As long as he doesn't bring out a bomb, everything is fine. If he brings out a bomb, we're gonna lose like 2.5 seconds for every bomb. But in general, it's just gonna be rinse and repeat. What I can't explain is, remember earlier I said if we're only firing one shot, we don't want to ADS? Well, it turns out when you're ADSing, you fire 1.5 times as fast for some reason. So on bosses like this, if because we're ADSing him, we're essentially getting 50% more damage than if we weren't ADSing him. That was a mistake on my part, but it's fine. I'm not worried about it. Supposed to get 2 hammer smashes, but I was distracted. Again, he might pull out a bomb here because my position is off. We'll see. He can pull out a hammer, he can pull out a bomb, he can pull out a punching glove. Ow. If in default position, the punching glove won't hurt you, but because I moved, I got hit by the punching glove. Could be one more. Alright, so serious photo epilepsy alert. If you guys are photo epilepsy, please look away. This is the final boss. It is a lot of flashing lights. This is your warning for this. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab onto this and we're gonna immediately unload into his body. Time is going to be on the final hit. I will do my best to call it, but basically, as soon as you see him start exploding, that's time. So we're gonna move into position around him, and we're just gonna, this is the hammer monkey we grabbed earlier. We're just gonna spin into his body. Every one of these hits is doing full damage to him. We're going to tank this laser to end it quickly. Pull out, keep ADSing him for lots of damage. Get a few more shots in there. We didn't kill him. We didn't get the quick kill. That's fine. Grab this hammer monkey. Tank it. Time is very soon. It's coming up. Move into position. One final cycle and time. And that is SRGTsilent Daisakuzen any percent. Yatta! Thank you for the GGs, everyone. Alright. So, yeah, hopefully you enjoyed the run. Please consider joining the Ape Escape speedrunning community. Follow me if you liked the content. I stream this game and a lot of stuff. I'm coming on right after this, so if you guys liked it, you'll get more of me. Completely different game. But yeah, we'd love to have you in the Ape Escape speedrunning community. We could teach you this. We could teach you other more practical games. Yeah.